All right, welcome back. Another story. I'm working a gang unit over in the west side of Los Angeles, and you know, you think you're just making a routine traffic stop sometimes. And this guy was driving. You know, he was DUI, and he was also a gang. We could see he was a young kid, so we think, oh, maybe he's a gang member because he was in a gang area. But you can't assume until you actually stop someone and see what they're up to. So we light him up with our lights, and he's driving, and you learn that there's a lot of reasons why they don't stop as soon as you light them up. Under the influence, escape, they want to divert you somewhere. Sometimes they want to take you down an alley, okay, set up, cul-de-sac, take you back to a gang area. All kinds of things could happen when they don't stop. So as soon as they do not stop, your feelers go up. Back of the hair goes up, and snap the holster. What's going on here? Why aren't they stopping? And this happened on this one. We're in a block, 2 blocks, got the lights on. We're not going to go in pursuit. He's doing about 20 miles an hour. Not yet. So turns out he was a black guy, gentleman. That doesn't really matter, but it does a little later on in the story. We're both Latino officers, and so we're in an area that has a mix. So we thought, okay, so I'm on the passenger side, so give me a backup unit just in case. It didn't look right. Makes it slowly, and then he's by himself. He makes a left-hand turn, and you see him looking out the window. So well, okay, what's going on here? He's on PCP. Does he have a gun? Who knows what he's doing? So going down residential street. Look in the mirror, here comes the backup. So we're trying to get him to pull over. So we finally hit the siren. He finally pulls over near a corner. Okay. So we get out, we walk up, kind of cautionary thing, and he gets out of the car. Immediately, he's a young guy, about 20, immediately yelling and screaming at us. Why'd you stop me for? Oh, you effing this? Oh, my effing that? And he said, well, sir, come on over here. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, well, he's been drinking, he's volatile, he's angry. Why? I don't know. Obviously, because he knows he's probably going to get arrested. So we go up to him. Okay. And we're trying to cuff him, and he's struggling, so down he goes on the sidewalk. Well, about that time, I hear a woman screaming, ah! I look up, and here comes his mother. Turned out later on it was his mother. Big, huge lady, okay? Should have been a linebacker for the Rams. Here she comes. She's a nurse, so she's wearing a white, dress or outfit, or what do you call it, the white clothing for a nurse. And she is hot. She goes, that's my baby. It's your baby's 20 years old. Really, Mom? Okay, Mom, go away, okay? And of course, he's yelling, Mama! We're going, shut up! Mama! Here she comes. Well, I didn't know my backup was 2 supervisors. One Korean veteran and one Vietnam veteran, okay? So these guys take no crap off nobody. So they're coming up. I didn't know what kind of backup it was because I'm busy with this guy. I look up to see a couple things. She's screaming, coming at me. She's not very close, maybe 20 feet as I see her. I see one of my supervisors comes up and he's got a taser, okay? And I'm looking, we got this guy down, come and look at I'm down on my knees, look up. He goes, stop, stop. And she goes, F you. Boom, he hits her with that taser, man. He's only about 6 feet away. She literally stops and goes backwards. And I remember to this day, all I can remember of her is her leg is up in the air and I can see the panel of her pantyhose because she's got white pantyhose as she goes flying backwards, okay? So all I see is panel and pantyhose. And down she goes. And she's screaming, of course, because, she's not a happy camper. Ah! And they're yelling at her, turn over, roll over. Ah! And then you hear this, hit her again, okay? And now all of a sudden, you like flicking a switch. You've seen it on cops, where 1 minute they're screaming, and all of a sudden they figure, uh-oh, and they stop. Okay, so it's like somebody just flicked her switch. I'm sorry. And she rolls over and they cuff her. It's like all of a sudden it was over. Because she told us that she's emotional because her son was being roughed up by he wasn't being roughed up, people. We were just trying to cuff him, and so we just put him on the ground. There's roughing up, and that's not roughing. That's just police work is ugly. It's ugly. Somebody doesn't want to go to jail. It's ugly. You put hands on someone, it's not good. They don't want to go. So she's screaming. Of course, what he did was that he pulled up. He took us to his neighborhood and right next to his house. That's what he did. That was his reason for not stopping. There's always a reason. When they don't stop immediately. And so he wanted to get his family involved. And of course, when that was going on, I didn't know this. They told me later. Other people were coming out of this yard. They had like a little bit of a party. And other unit pulled up with their nightsticks out and said, you better stay on the porch or on the yard. And they just backed off. And you don't know what's going on. Just keep quiet. We'll tell you later. And so she was taken away. He was taken away. And then the other supervisors walked up and told them. I could see them explain what was going on. And they're all mad. Now, why you get mad at the police when this guy is drunk, driving on your streets, running over your people or your neighbors, and we stop him and we're the bad guys? Okay, he lost me on that one. I'm totally lost. But anyway, so she went to jail for interfering. He went to jail for drunk driving. And everybody's fine. We didn't get any rocks and balls. Nobody did anything else to us. And that was it. We got our bodies and everybody took off, and that was the end of it. But just to see kind of embarrassing. My mom wouldn't even raise a voice to the police. And here's this woman screaming, ignoring commands, and then she gets tasered, and she just fell, I mean, completely backwards on her back, and it was kind of wet out, so she's all dirty and muddy, and it was not a good thing. But that's the way it goes. I mean, it's life in the big city, and I hope you like the story, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.